Who wants to share?
I'll share.
Okay,
Oh,
go ahead.
we didn't get to the sixth question just yet, but what do you think will be your favorite subject this year? Why do you think this will be your favorite? What do you think will be your most challenging subject? And what do you think can be done to help you overcome the challenging parts of that subject?
And then you'll have something
Something
about
like
it.
fun, like what's your, and they're always gonna put PE.
Well, no, to end the paragraph, remember, you're gonna
Yeah.
summarize what you've said.
Close it up. So you could say, why is it important to make sure that you do the best in both
Yeah.
subjects?
Okay, you understand that we're trying to get a well-written paragraph, so we've gotta have a concluding sentence there.
You're gonna be inspired by that?
Oh, yeah. Tim? Oh, he's fixing it. All
It's
right.
okay, fine.
It's not a problem.
My first 4 questions were very similar to 4
Uh-huh.
questions that were asked. What is your favorite subject in school? Why is that subject your favorite? What is your least favorite subject in school? What made this your least favorite subject? Describe a time when you liked your least favorite subject. And what will help to make both of these subjects fun again?
Good, good. That's a kind of a different take on it. That's good. Who else? Somebody else's hand was up a minute ago. Fred?
Rewriting.
Oh, he's
rewriting.
He's looking going, who, me? Now, as a teacher of a specific subject, you may want to know what they know or don't know, or what they like or dislike about the subject you're teaching. So you might want to even hone in on that. You know, what is it that you like about science or math or whatever it is specifically that you're teaching? What are you looking forward to the most? What do you dread? You know, those kinds of things. So that you can kind of get an idea of where they are as opposed to where you are, and how you can work on that together.
Another neat thing about this is that after you get into actually teaching, you can use this type of writing as a review to remind them, what did you teach the day before? And have them sort of review and go back to set the tone for the class. And while you're checking roll real quick, give them 4 questions, 5 questions, 6 questions, and about the previous day's lesson. And read 1 or 2 of them just to remind them of what they were exposed to and what they learned, so you can move on.
And you've incorporated writing in your class. It's instrumental into your lesson. There's a purpose to it. Writing for just writing's sake has no purpose. I mean, sometimes it's fun, but other than that, what purpose is it? It's got to have a purpose. It's got to be meaningful to you as a teacher as well as to the students. Okay? And you don't want to just have, the standalone writing out here somewhere going, what's that for? We've been all week, we haven't done a writing assignment, we better throw this in. So you want it to have a purpose. Okay. So look at what you've accomplished. You've written a paragraph to use as a model, created an icebreaker to use on the first day, incorporated writing into your subject area. Not too bad for just a few minutes of time. Okay, just that much. You have an icebreaker for the first day of school, you can model it. If you think you need to model it, you've got your paragraph that you can model with it, and then you can have something that's insightful from your students after they leave, and you can go through and check it out. Okay.
Great.
Now, one of our favorite Lorax pages, unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. So we just have to make sure that we all care about what we're doing and we can get something accomplished. There's a school of thought that there are 2 types of writing strategies when we're dealing with school and lessons. There are writing to learn strategies and writing for knowledge, to demonstrate knowledge. Your writing to learn strategy improves critical thinking skills, conceptualizes information, increases classroom participation, builds confidence, improves performance, and increases knowledge retention. Those types of assignments are helping them to learn the subject or the topic at hand. So what would writing to demonstrate knowledge be?
Explain the process of photosynthesis.
Right. Is it just regurgitating, right? It's telling you what they've learned. I've already learned that. Here it is. That's your essays, your reports, etc. Okay? So we will be doing more of these because you can do quick writes often that are writing to learn strategies. You, of course, will be using your writing to demonstrate knowledge simply because you have to assess, you have to grade them on what they know, right? And it just helps you assess that. So, with that being said, you have the writing to demonstrate, writing to learn activities in front of you. Let's look at them briefly. We're not going to go over them at length right now. Most of them you know. These are just some examples. They're certainly not the end-all and be-all for all writing to learn activities. The reading journal. Do you know the reading journal? And it has how it promotes learning. You can use the side-by-side or Carnegie notes for that, etc. There. This goes through, you can do observations, you can reflect on television programs, places, people, group discussions, group work, prior writing assignments. I mean, it goes on and on. The structure of the writing depends on the level of the student, obviously. If you are teaching lower level students, then their structure is going to be much different than your higher level students. And that means in grade as well as intellect. Okay, lower and higher. So these, it takes some time when you're looking to incorporate these lessons. This has some focused and generalized summaries, annotations, response papers, synthesis papers, discussion starters, focusing on a discussion, the learning log, analyzing the process, problem statements. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Pre-test warm-ups, using cases, letters, what counts as a fact, believing in a doubting game, which is kind of fun. Yes?
Are you suggesting that we use this for math and science?
Yes.
This connection?
Yes.
So would it be would it be a science journal where they just have reflections on science articles maybe?
Yes, or it, you know, it could be reflecting on what they did in class that day. Or the experiment card. Investigation.
Yes,
They
we're
did
learning
that
too. We're learning.
I'm going, ooh, it's not experiment. Oh my gosh. Oh, this terminology changed.
The way I've used it in mostly in 5th grade, that you know, you start a unit, you know, tell me what you know about life. Tell me what you know about whatever it is you're about to learn. You go through your investigation, or maybe it's, you know, you're reading a text. And then, what did you learn today? Or do a 3-question 3-2-1 or something.
Right. Or did you have a misconception?
Right, or what did you know, how does, or you know what you put first, did your thoughts change, or something, just to get them right.
So since I'm teaching like math and science, the way to apply this would be to have like maybe one journal where they have like a math science response journal. That would be it, right? Because I don't have an ELA journal in my
Well, this
group.
is not an ELA.
I know, but I'm saying like what would be the best way to start to get to integrate it?
Have both.
You have the same students for math and science?
I have 5th grade math and science and 4th grade math and science.
Okay, so you have the same students.
Yes.
Okay, so you teach 5th grade, all the 5th grade students.
Math and science.
Math and
in
science.
the morning, and then,
Okay.
so I was thinking it might be best.
Yes, they could each have a journal. You'll know whether you assigned a math or a topic or a science topic.
Right,
It's not a big
right. But I
Yeah,
can
I would
outline
have
it,
2 different.
and I could just use it for like a daily grade depending on what I assign.
Absolutely. Maybe even a weekly grade, or just do it every 3 weeks, or it doesn't have to be every single day, or you may choose out of a hat. This is the one I'm going to grade today. And they know, oh, mine might be called on, and you say, oh, after they put it, oh, today I'm gonna be checking so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. That way, they're doing their best
that's
every
great.
single day, because their names go back in the pot. So they could be called on the next day too. That way, you're not inundated with grading,
Right.
yet you have them on their guard.
Yes.
Okay, so those little tricks are, they're good. Yes.
Also, I'm trying to throw out ideas since you brought it up. If it's not starting a new unit, the first thing we have them write is, what did we learn yesterday? Or what did we talk about yesterday? That could be more for math, I think. To tie in our knowledge from the day before. What did we learn yesterday?
And you could even do entrance tickets. Do the same thing, you get into the class and you say, when you come in tomorrow, you have to bring me, a ticket that says what you learned the day before.
That's a good idea.
In
Yes.
math, can it also be as simple as writing out the answers instead of just saying 32 cups? Just rewriting the whole,
Sometimes. However, is there a real reason for that?
other than to form a complete sentence.
Well, and for some kids, that's difficult. But you don't want to torture the students. I mean, that is not the process, the torture, and you don't want to torture yourself. If you're grading a bunch of math papers,
Oh, not all the time. but like
and
a
you're
word
going,
problems.
oh, look, we've got 32 cups, isn't it easier to see 32 cups and where in that sentence did they put 32 cups? Oh, I can't find it. Don't, make sure there's a real reason behind having them write, okay? I'm not saying don't ever have them answering a complete sentence, certainly that is appropriate.
I would add, make sure there's a reason to have them do anything. I have seen
It's true.
assignments in science that I'm thinking, why?
Why are we doing this, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Well, one of the things that I do at the end of my units, my kids always want to draw, and I'm like the draw Nazi, I don't let them draw. Until the end of the unit, I let them turn their page and they get to draw. And I tell them draw 4 things, 5 things, whatever, but everything that they draw, they have to tell me something about it. So they're writing what they've just drawn about that unit, so.
and but that's more of your writing to demonstrate knowledge
Um,
instead of writing to learn, because that's not helping them learn something, it's letting them show you what they learned. Does that make sense?
In fact, if you put on the board, the answer is 14 monkeys. You are to write the word problem and solve it, and use such and such, whatever they've done.
And it's very creative, they're very creative, and don't just put the answer's 14. You need to have something. And they can be as creative, you have 16 giraffes, 32 monkeys, and so-and-so, we're in the zoo, and the gates were left open, and so-and-so escaped, etc. I mean, depending on your group, but they can become very creative in their word problems. But it's teaching them to work backwards. And it's teaching them to write and make sure that they know what they're doing in the math as well. Yes, ma'am.
In your pre-lesson planning principles here, we are actually revising this. In the concrete column, you will find that it says students writing or students drawing is foundational. So not at the end necessarily. I think it depends on what the purpose
Right.
is.
It has to have a
But don't
purpose.
just think, think more creatively, broadly about it, that there's a lot of flexibility, but it's what the students are doing to learn or to further understand.
Could that be, for example, in the photosynthesis, we draw a plant and explain what the plant needs, and then we say,
Or is that demonstrate, what's a good example of writing to learn? Would that be demonstrating knowledge of the future and extending?
We're not learning.
Well,
No, that,
You can learn when you're drawing an organism and, maybe like on like photosynthesis, so you're drawing it, the plant. You know, of course, mine's gonna be very crude, but if you're drawing arrows where you're showing oxygen in and oxygen out in plants, and carbon monoxide, dioxide out in plants. So that would be drawing to learn, and it could be drawing to demonstrate understanding. Okay, does that make sense?
And
Nice
two,
game,
you could have, if you had this statement on the board, if you will, if you had to restate the concept, whatever concept it is, in your own terms, how would you do that? Well, that's writing to learn, because they're having to think about the process itself, or the concept, and then putting it in their own words. So, and that may include their drawing to show those things.
I was just like, I don't think we could roll back, but I was gonna say, for the 6 questions you had, you could do the same exact thing. You could have,
We can roll back.
Yeah.
It's easy to roll back.
I can do that.
There you go.
for each one of those, you could write down a step for a process for like photosynthesis. You know, what happens on this part of the process, have them put it in order, and then go back and have them fill it in. And that would be a statement right there, because I had students who, I could sit there and I could ask each question, okay, what gas would plants absorb from the atmosphere? And they go, carbon dioxide, but then they could answer each one by itself, but then if you said, okay, write about it, they'd sit there and just go, it's too hard, I quit. But if I did something like this.
You stack the deck, we call it stacking the deck.
Yeah,
If you want, this is stacking the deck. You are getting them to think about the information you want them to think about. Yes.
If in the case that you're doing it, as he started with the different questions for photosynthesis, you have to have them write them in answering complete, or using.
to be able to turn into a
Yes,
paragraph.
and in order to have it turn into a paragraph, it's easier for them to put it in a complete sentence if they're answering the question than have just little pieces and say, okay, now write a paragraph about it. Huh? I mean, it's easier to go ahead and have them write in complete sentences. If you never get further than that, you're still that much ahead of where you were. Yes, sir.
And that's something that I'm really starting to get into is chunking.
Right.
Each question is just a small piece of a larger whole, and then all they're going to end up doing is just tying them together.
Right.
And
And it's important to chunk information so that they can tie it together. Otherwise, if you inundate them, they're like
whole
lost.
enchilada.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not sure if the higher levels do it, but I know fifth grade has a lot of lessons to where we go back daily and check the progress of what's going on. I always have my kids write an observation and then have complete sentences. And at the end of the lesson or the investigation, I have them take every single one of those observations and they put it in a paper. And that works really well too, because they have everything that they wrote, and it's easy to throw those transition words into.
I'm not sure whether it was last year or year before last, time flies. But we ended up doing a formula, stacking the deck, for a conclusion for an investigation, experiment, I don't know, whatever. Where, you're talking about the hypothesis, and we would every step answer those questions, so that when they have to write that, it was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's done. And so we have that somewhere we have that, but it worked, it seemed to work, yes.
So with my background, I taught fourth grade. And so fifth grade teachers, the advantage you have is that you have fourth grade students coming to you who are being taught skills in writing, because that's what they test in fourth grade.
Right.
So as fifth grade teachers, you have the advantage, that's what I'm hoping to go in with, is the advantage of your kids will write for you if you can go back and say, okay, in fourth grade, you should have learned these basic skills, because in fourth grade, they should be able to do a Y. And if they don't, then that's something that's that whole vertical alignment that we need to go back on. Because I've taught my students in fourth grade that they have to explain their whys. And when they do that, it kind of gives me an indicator of did they understand or not.
So as fifth grade teachers, you can build on from that, and you're just gonna take it to the next level with applying their writing technique that they should have picked up in fourth grade, because that's what they're being tested on, and that's their teaks that they really should be hitting on for writing to build up into fifth grade. So fifth grade, don't assume that they are just a blank slate, that they won't know. I mean, you're gonna have some loss from the summer, but
Amazing how they
You
get a
know,
lobotomy or something in
yeah,
the
it's
summer.
just, yes.
What?
But I mean, hopefully, the fourth grade teachers have laid that foundation, like, I can say I have, enough to where your kids will write for you, but don't just tell them, okay, write. You have to set the deck for them, because they will not write if they don't know what your expectations are.
Right,
But if
and
you
after
lay
a
that
while,
down for them.
this will become more intuitive for them. You won't have to do this step by step if you try to do this for a while. Now, I'm going to just suggest something to you, and hopefully she just does this back there. Just close your ears. There you go. After, I taught in public schools for many years, and one of the things I found, and it wasn't until I had already taught 25 years, and all of a sudden it dawned on me that I kept trying to reinvent the wheel, because the kids would come in, and it's like, oh yeah, go back and go back. And finally, I thought, and I put on the board, or overhead, or whatever, we did. It's okay. The things that I expected them to already know. I know that you know these things, blah, 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 because that was in the curriculum from before. I expect you to know them. If you don't know them, then you need to come in for tutoring before school, because I'm not reteaching it. Well, all of a sudden they have to take ownership for what they have. And they can't be saying, I don't know, I don't know what you're talking about, I never did that. Yes, you did. And I know that in order to pass the grade before, you have to have those. So, take ownership, folks. This is what, I'm not reteaching this, you have to know these things. And if you don't know them, that's okay. I'll teach them to you, but you have to come before school to do it. I'm not taking class time to do it. Everybody else knows. So, that took away a lot of practice, because you get all that, oh, I don't know, Miss, I don't remember. I don't think we ever did that before, Miss. Oh, Miss, whatever. So just have them take ownership of what knowledge they should be bringing in, because otherwise they're not going to. It's just the nature of the beast. All right. Yeah, skip forward a little bit. Okay.
We've done that.
No, go back. Oh, yes. I think we just finished that.
Yeah.
This is what the writing to learn looks like. Notes. Folks, notes. You do that almost every day. Have them take those notes. That's writing. That's writing to learn. Okay. We already did that. Okay.
Okay.
Sure. Okay, the other is writing to demonstrate knowledge. It allows students to show what they have learned by synthesizing information and explaining their understanding of concepts and ideas. This type of writing is directed to an audience with a specific purpose. Now, I know that you know that writing an essay or a report or a research paper or any of those things are writing to demonstrate knowledge papers. But there are some others that are not quite as cumbersome that you can have the students do, and that's what I'm giving you today. They can create a video. How many of you have the video software on your computers that they can do different, they can do their own little videos, etc. You can have them create a video about whatever you're studying. That would show that they demonstrate knowledge of the subject, and it's something different than an essay. Or here we have this lovely poster board. I was so sick of poster boards off in this thing. What do you do with all those poster boards?
Recycle.
Oh, recycle, yes, recycle. Okay, create a comic strip. Sometimes the subject doesn't warrant a research paper. It doesn't warrant a full-fledged essay, but you still need to know whether they understand the concept. Make it fun, folks. Writing doesn't have to be a drudge. Create presentations or slideshows. Use graphic organizers. Graphic organizers are wonderful techniques that show that they understand the concepts. It demonstrates their knowledge, but it's not a cumbersome essay, if you will, or report. Questions? And we'll revisit these during the year, but we wanted to give you as much in your arsenal as we could now so that you can use them during the year, because you need to incorporate writing in all of your lessons in some fashion, okay? In some fashion. So we wanted to make sure that you had something in your arsenal besides, oh, we're going to have to write another report. Oh, we're going to have to do... No, the kids don't like that just as much as you don't like to grade it. So,
One of the things, in the million years that
yes.
I taught, we did.
We've only taught 75 years between us.
We did a research paper on dropouts. And then we took as an incentive, you know, you're gonna write your paper, this. Then you're gonna get in a group and read each other's papers and take some notes on them, what you think is good, that you read. Because then we took and developed PSAs for staying in school. And the kids actually came up to school during the summer, and KLRN came in and filmed it for us, and they sent it out to Austin TV station, San Antonio TV station, and actually showed it during the Super Bowl.
And the kids did it, and it was just a...
Right, it was an incentive for them to learn more. How many of you have televised announcements at school on the computer or anything? Just one? You could even put it on your teacher website, you know, them doing something, you know.
But remember, if you show them, you have a release.
Release.
All that
That.
stuff.
Okay. Ready? Got that?
Yeah, I did. Okay, now, here's the deal. We had 2 quick writing activities for you today, but we're cutting it down to 1 because it's already 3:30. And so we don't want you to be here after 4. See, we're gonna be your favorites, huh?
Who said they weren't gonna be here after 4?
I'm just trying to make, I'm just trying to make friends.
We all.
I bring candy.
You have us a candy.
Yeah.
Do you guys, do workshops out of the
No, we do not. We have done many workshops, many, but they're all out of the Northeast.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
that's why.
All out of the Northeast. We did mentoring workshops. We did, where are you saying that?
Because I recognized y'all somewhere and I couldn't place you.
We just teach the,
TV
teach the
stars.
teachers, yeah, TV stars, that's it. Teach the teachers, mentoring, cooperative learning, we've done it all.
I need an extra one.
We take our acts on the road, no problem. Okay.
Here's another.
I got it. What you needed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, this is an acrostic poem. This is something that you can do. It's very quick, easy, but can give you an idea of what the kids know and don't know. An acrostic poem is a creative way to show the understanding of a concept. And if you'll notice, you make sure that the topic that you give them is written vertically. In the example, the first topic, the topic is science. Okay? And so it says, science is searching and collecting data in many varied ways to explore nature's chemistry and empirically test the physical world around us. Nice little poem, tells you about the science. Notice that each letter begins the poem. Some people, they want to put it somewhere in the middle of the word. No. An acrostic poem, first letter of each line has to be part of the topic. Example 2, science includes things like cycles, invertebrates, ecosystems, nitrogen, carbon, and experiments. Well, I guess now I have to say investigations. There still are experiments as long as you have a control, right? Okay.
She is so sharp, that's why we hire her.
Got it. Okay, and example 3. Science is a way to explain the natural world around us. Carbon is an element that we find in all living things. Inferences are possible conclusions or hypotheses made from analyzing data. Experiments are valid when they follow the scientific method. Nitrogen makes up 78% of our
Or if you find a new species.
Okay. Chemistry is the study of the properties and reactions of matter, and Earth is where we live, so we need to take care of it. Do you see the difference? One has phrases, one single words, one has sentences. It all gets the idea across. Yes?
Yes.
This type of creative writing assignment can be used to demonstrate what has been learned. So, this is a page that you could use. Anytime you give the student an assignment, you need to have a rubric and give them a clue how it's going to be graded. So, this is the assignment at the top, and this is the rubric on how it would be graded. Okay? This is a gift for you. You're welcome. So on a piece of paper, you can use the back of the book instructions sheet if you like. Or yeah, we have some more notes. I want you to demonstrate what knowledge you have learned about. What's the topic this week? Minerals? Is that what you're doing? Minerals. Let's do minerals. That's the topic for the week, I believe.
The word mineral.
Minerals. With the S.
Plural.
Down. Add the S at the end.
And then just make a call out.
Minerals. Minerals. Be a cheerleader. So the subject of the poem is minerals. You're going to write it vertically.
And make it across the phone using them.
And you're going to tell the students, they're going to brainstorm using their lab notes, their lab experience, whatever they want, whatever you want them to use. Write the title vertically, one letter per line. Make sure each line starts with the corresponding letter. And each line must relate back to minerals. And then the poem will be graded by using this rubric that you've been given. Does anyone need candy to write a poem with? Anyone here? Anyone down here? Having candy to eat while you're writing poems? Candy for writing? Candy for writing? You've got a whole tray of candy in front of you. I know, we need it. She's in desperate need. I'm coming to you, darling. She's just, I'm not going to let her have it. There it is.
different lines.
You can do it different ways you can watch it.
So can we write minerals as the first word? Yes?
It's an M, right?
Yeah.
No candy in it.
What we've had to do, right?
You know, I try.
Casey, you have to agree with that.
Okay, if you want extra credit, you can illustrate your poem. Is there anyone not finished? with, okay, that's fine. Just checking. Just checking.
Everything I learned is correct. You were supposed to write everything you learned?
Well, no, not everything, but what did you hear?